Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome. It's now time for the featured bout of the evening. From the four corners of the world to the four corners of this ring, the fight starts now!
Well, the time has reached the point where we are not counting the days to history. It is down to hours as the world gets ready for the top two pound-for-pound fighters in women's boxing, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, to share the ring at the world's most famous arena. Welcome in, everybody, to Matchroom Boxing's press conference here at SG, along with Claudia Trejos. I'm Justin Shackle. We are in the Hearn Theater at Madison Square in New York City, but we're not going to be here Saturday night on Dazn. We're going upstairs to the big witness history.
Absolutely a historical moment for ladies. For the first time, they are headlining a boxing event at the Mecca of boxing.
Plenty of action on the Undercard. We are about to get to meet the boxers on Saturday night show on Dazn. Let's turn it down to Eddie Hearn.
Well, good afternoon, everyone, and what a turnout. A lot of people were asking me, I didn't realise you were letting fans in today. No, just the world media. How exciting is this? Madison Square Garden this Saturday will be sold out by the time Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano enter the ring for not just the biggest female fight of all time, but one of the biggest fights in boxing history. This place is so special, and although we have a very special main event live on Dazn on Saturday night, we wanted to put an undercard together that could stand alone in its own right in this fabulous arena. And with so much great talent up here on this table, we have a little bit of everything for you on this historic night of boxing at the weekend at Madison Square Garden. Of course, we have a fantastic co-main event. Again, an event that was supposed to headline one of our US shows earlier this year. Former world champion Liam Smith will take on two division world champions, Jesse Vargas, in a tremendous fight. The undisputed super middleweight championship of the world, Crews-Dezurn and Cederroos, in another thrilling fight. The Olympic medalist Galal Yafai, second fight, defends the international title against Miguel Cartagena. We've got Booker against Enamait. We've got Reshat Mati. We've got Australia's Skye Nicolson, first Australian ever box at this historic Co. Talent, checking I haven't missed. We're good. Night on Saturday. Now, Reshat, I'm going to Albanian Bear. Your own hometown. You've boxed here before, of course. Big step up for you at the weekend and a massive show right on your doorstep.
Yeah, you know, obviously I fought a couple times in the Hulu Theater, never fought in the actual stadium. You know, this is where the Knicks played, this is where Muhammad Ali fought. You know, a lot of plays, you know, a lot of fights. So I'm looking to put on a great show, you know, and you know, have all my Albanian fans out there. You know, they bought them online. You'll have 200-300 there guaranteed. So I'm looking to go put on a good show.
A good step up for you at the weekend, of course, and time to start doing that. You've boxed all over the world, of course, on Dazn, but great to be back in New York and ready to start getting into title contentions in 2022.
Absolutely, that's the plan. You know, bring up the more weights. You know, bring up the belts. You know, I'm ready to go.
Well, another fantastic young American prospect in Khalil Ko. Khalil, welcome. Madison Square Garden. We know your story. I'm sure a few years ago you didn't believe you would be here, but you are. Big step for you as one of America's top prospects and a great platform to do it.
Most definitely. You know, is going to be amazing. You know, so close to home. My family, people I will be able to come out and support. And I've been training to love a show.
You in action. One fight for on Saturday. In boxing have been talking about against Cordell Booker, a long-time blue PBC ammo most important, tremendous power puncher, tremendous athlete, and takes a huge step up at Madison Square Garden this weekend. Cordell, we'll start with you. You've been looking for this opportunity for a long time. Keith Connolly, I know your manager, has been plaguing me for a big fight like this. A lot of people talking about this fight. It's going to be a great one at this historic venue.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. We've been waiting for a fight, so that's why we moved up to 160, because we're ready to fight anybody, make my dreams come true, and that's what's going to happen on Saturday.
You have got a huge amount of experience over Enamait Williams. He's a fantastic prospect, has looked devastating with both hands, but you do have the edge in terms of experience in this fight. Looking to use that against Enamait Williams, and I'm sure you respect this young man's talent.
Yeah, I respect him. I respect everybody who comes into the ring, but it's my time. I put in way too much work. My experience is above his, like you said, and that's what I'm looking to do.
Amo, this is a big fight for you, big step. Been calling for this for a long, long time. Training camp, new setup. We saw a great fight last time on the Devin in Las Vegas at GM Grand. Now you're at Madison Garden. It's not, life's good for Amo, but this is where it gets at the weekend.
Yeah, this is my first at 11, and very thankful for, because it's a lot of undefeated record on the line. Somebody who has more fights and more experience. So for me, getting somebody who's supposed to be better, who's supposed to have been around for a long time, that pulls a different beast out of me. I know he says he's put a lot of work in and stuff like that, but there's no worked how I worked. There's no he's even come close to things that I sacrificed for this. And on Saturday night, y'all to see that.
A lot of great prospects, big step up, and it's so. You've had your learning experiences around. We can get to see you in a ring. What makes you believe you're ready to step up on Saturday?
Know that I'm ready for this. It's a lot more that goes into fighting than just the fight. This is my second time in the big stage, in the garden, in the big room. This is my second time. I fought right before Katie Taylor on Anthony Joshua versus Ruiz.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because that was like you were just thrown into this fight at Madison Square Garden last time. You stopped the guy in the first round, I think, end of the first round, but you also, it was a lively performance. You were very overexcited in that fight, but I guess great grounding for Saturday night.
Exactly. When I go into this next fight and I make my ring walk and I see the cameras and the Megatron and the crowd and this beautiful venue that I'm in, it won't take me out of the moment, not even a slight amount. Cordell doesn't have that experience. I mean, they talk about experience, but I have Quatavius Cash, who was a great fighter, a good fighter. Then I also have Dennis Douglas on my resume. So it's not like I'm coming into this fight with no experience, and I'm gonna show that it's a lot of levels to Williams that I haven't had to pull up yet. He's a skilled fighter, and I can fight a different style and show y'all guys another side of Enamait Williams.
Against 17-0 fight, 3 female on this card on Saturday night. Nicolson, probably the most active fighter right now. Obviously, the first Australian to ever fight in this historic. Looking forward to your third fight. 9. It's been a roller coaster, a huge moment for you.
Yeah, I feel very grateful, and to be a historic event. My third fight in 59 days or something, so very active, and I'm excited to show what we've been working on in the gym.
I know that you've got lots of photos of Katie Taylor and you growing up, I think is probably as young as, I don't know, the first one that you had, but obviously a big inspiration to you. And as a female fighter, so much in front of you, but great to see such a historic card in a huge venue and paves the way for female fighters like yourself to realise it's possible to create big moments like this.
Definitely. Katie and Amanda have been trailblazers for women's boxing, and they've paved the way for my generation, and I hope that I can pave the way for the next generation.
And finally, first fight in San Diego was against an undefeated fighter from San Diego. Great performance there. Your second fight, wasn't overly happy because it was against a journeywoman opponent. Fight these winning records, these fighters that are winning, and you expect that at a weekend opponent who definitely will take this opportunity.
I expect for my opponent, I think, fighter, and she's going to come to win, and I'm excited. I want that, and see the best me. I've said that.
Well, forward to seeing you at Madison Square Garden on Saturday with the eyes of Australia also watching. When we talk about great young fighters, we recently signed a young man in Galal Yafai, who I believe is a future star of the sport of boxing. Olympic gold in Tokyo, I think the standout talent from the Tokyo Olympics. And when we sat down with Galal Yafai, it was very clear that I felt, and he felt as well, that there was no reason to have these 6- and 8-round fights. In his first fight, he went and won the WBC international title over 10 rounds at the O2 Arena. Now he comes to defend that title in just his second fight here at Madison Square Garden. Great opportunity for bringing young fighters through on this fantastic global platform with Dazn. His opponent in Miguel Cartagena, very tough fight, have big support in the arena as well. I'll start with you. Quite unique fighting a fighter who's no, but obviously a very fighter and a big moment for you this weekend.
Yeah, very. As far as where I'm in my career right now, but I'm super excited. I had a really good camp. I'm just rock and roll.
Obviously, he was a matchup, but
yes.
as a pro, like looking to use your experience in the pros against him.
It'll definitely come in handy in later rounds for sure.
Galal doesn't get much bigger than this. I know you're as cool as a cucumber, whether you were at the O2 or whether you were winning Olympic gold, but let's just break this down. You're about to have a title fight at Madison Square Garden in your second fight. You've been walking around New York with a pulse rate of about 20 all week, but this is a big moment for you, and as a young man, moments you've dreamed of. Obviously a tremendous fighting family with your brothers Khalid and Gamal as well, but a special moment for you and the family this weekend.
Yeah, definitely fighting at MSG, my second fight. It's a dream come true. And I remember we spoke in Sheffield and you said I could fight on these shows and you stuck to your word. But I've just got to go out there, win. Winning is the main thing, you know, but I want to look too. I've got a good opponent. He's come to win. It's a good fight for the fans.
Learn from that first fight, the O2. You boxed the guy that would fight in the 10th, 11th fight. Very tough. He stayed a while. He didn't lose many rounds. You took on the way as well, but great as well. And you can see the advantage of those fights over those easy 6- and 8-rounders.
I think I learned how small the few people. Really. Hopefully I can learn a bit more on Saturday. But like I said, I'm here just to win, to look good, and then get back home.
Well, one of the great young prospects in global boxing, Galal Yafai, ready to defend his title as we move towards 2 tremendous fights. And of course, we know this is a big moment for women's boxing, but this fight could stand alone as a main event. 2 great talents, 2 unified champions for the undisputed super middleweight championship of the world. Ellen, I'll start with you. I talk about Australia watching. Everyone in Sweden will be watching at the weekend as well. Massive fight, massive stage. You look in tremendous shape, ready to go at the weekend.
I'm so ready. Thank you for this opportunity. It's an honor to be here in Madison Square Garden. It's the first time a Swedish boxer is here to get this opportunity. I'm so ready. I've been ready for so long time now.
Let's talk about this fight. You know, previously, before we picked this up, it'd fallen through a couple of times, and both coming off tremendous wins, both action fighters. Everyone expecting this fight here, but been a long way and ready to make it count. You ended up at Madison Square Garden, so it was great.
Yes, so this is the best thing, 100%. So it's been a long way. We are ready. Put on a great day for sure.
And just finally, both you and Crews-Dezurn fighters, heavy-handed. You see a lot of the action, women's boxing. 2 fighters well that like to let their hands go. We expect a great fight here.
Yeah, you can expect a great fight. We're both strong, big girls. So yeah, you're gonna feel it in the air.
Thank you. Well, the HH Diva, welcome. The only person I know that trains with her sunglasses on. Do you actually do that, or is that just for the gram?
Nah, this is my aesthetic since I stepped on the scene.
Well, you've been on the scene a while. You debuted against Clarissa Shields in the toughest fight she's ever had. I was there that night.
Really?
Yeah. It was. I believe it was on the Kovalev undercard or the Ward
I didn't
undercard.
know that.
I was there. And, you know, I remember thinking this is a tough debut. And now, as she becomes the undisputed champion, you sit on the verge of becoming the undisputed champion. Madison Square Garden at the weekend. A moment I'm sure you dreamed of as a young athlete, and you're ready to take this opportunity.
When I stepped into the ring for that fight versus Shields, my coach thing before going to thing in the corner, you change your life. And I gave my best effort, and I still changed my life. So when I win, it's already ready to change it for the better. And also, Ellen, she works very hard, but she's not as hungry as I am.
When you talk about the development of women's boxing and how opportunities present itself, you're a great amateur as well. You know, you had great pedigree. You had to turn pro and fight Clarissa Shields in your debut.
Yes.
I mean, how much has this sport evolved? These opportunities for female fighters evolved now, where you sit ready to challenge for the undisputed world championship at Madison Square Garden. But back then, that was the only opportunity you had. Fight Clarissa Shields or you may never get a chance. And that was in your opening fight.
Yeah, well, back then, when I started, women's boxing wasn't even in the Olympics. So to be on that stage and go pro against her, because 13 girls turned her down. So you could tell how I'm built, my character, my will, the things I want out of life. I stepped up to the plate because I knew that fight would set a standard not only for us, but women's boxing ahead. And as you see, from then on, it's been a fights, and leading up to with Katie and Amanda, the best.
As I said to Ellen, both of you, big punch for you, great output as well. Back from that Clarissa Shields, always hold your feet. Expect a great fight. I know when you fight, you always, and I guess that's the aim. You want to win, but we expect from you two.
I honestly, for the knockout.
You should just say, because it sounded better.
Yeah, but listen to this. The difference between me and Ellen, she's a soccer player turned boxer. I've been boxing over half of my life, so I ain't going to lose to no half-time boxer. And I'm definitely going to put on a show April 30th. Period.
Okay. Right.
Sorry, Eddie, sorry.
I liked it. I wanted you to keep going.
Oh, we could pop up. Look, first of all, no.
No. That's good. That's good. The undisputed super middleweight world championship on the line this weekend. Now, a fight that I cannot wait for, a fight that has been years in the making, a fight that was supposed to take place February the 5th as main event in Las Vegas earlier this year. Liam Smith, the former WBO light middleweight champion of the world, against Jesse Vargas, the former two-division world champion. This is a fight that could headline on any US show, any UK show, anywhere around the world. We were delighted to add it to the historic card. Liam, firstly, I know this is a fight you've wanted a long, long time. I know what this place means to you and the family. You know this better than anyone. Callum boxed here as well. Big fight for you, a fight for a long time. You're looking tremendous, ready to go.
Yeah, for a long time since you mentioned you promoted Jesse. I'll have that. You know, it happens, and then Jesse, which I had no questions about. That was a long time ago, and this fight should have happened since then, and it hasn't. It's fell through a couple of times, and you know, it fell through February. That's how it's become a little bit personal, a little bit needle now. You know, we're here now. I said last time, pulls out, wrap yourself in confidence. I'm not losing this match date, and you know, now I'm happy I've seen Jesse's fine. A little bit of fans' voice, a little bit of, you know, with the, and I'm massively excited.
Yeah, we've heard him say that he believes he's going to knock you out at the weekend as well, and it's good to have that back and forward. But I know there's respect between the two of you, but you're looking to do a job on him at the weekend.
Yeah, I've openly said that. You know, I think Ed, you've beat me enough now. I'll say what I feel, and I do feel I can be the first to stop Jesse, especially at 154. 154 is my division. He could still make 147, and that proves to me I'm the naturally bigger, stronger man in this weight division. And over a 12-round fight, I'll fully make that count.
Is that what we expect to see from Liam Smith? Aggression in this fight? We know you like to stand and fight on the inside, particularly as well. But a lot of people talking about the styles of this fight and expect a brilliant, brilliant fight.
Yeah, definitely. That's why I wanted the fight. I knew it'd make for a good fight. And Jesse's easy to drag into a fight. He likes a fight himself. And I just think that's why it'll totally make for a good fight. Once I know Jesse's got fast hands, with him being a smaller upper man. But once the fight starts and once it gels, it's a very, very good fight, and that's where I fully believe I take over.
talk about this. Obviously, want another shot at the world title. Back for the losers. You end the career at the weekend.
Yeah, I do. I feel that now he out the door, and I'll give him his other foot. I'll give him his exit.
Jesse, we know that you're, a major politician now, but we know you're also a hungry fighter, a tremendous fighter, a two-division champion. This young man to my left looking to end your career at the weekend. How hungry are you? We know that that's a big part of your life now as well, but we know how important the sport of boxing is to you. We've seen you quite vocal for this fight. You believe you're going to knock Liam Smith out this weekend. It's a brilliant fight, and you look ready to go.
I'm definitely ready to go. I just can't wait. The only thing I'm ready for is for that belt Saturday night, and for me, my hands go and just punch it. I'm looking forward to that. Talk about boxing. This is my main career. This is my life. This is what I've done since I was years old. Anyone question it? What I do, I'm great at. Continue to stay on top in the top, and I will become world champion. That is my plan. It will happen, and it's this Saturday night. Smith, as I promised before. I'm not here to shout or anything. I said it before, and I'll say it again. To his face. I'm ready to fight. I'm ready to knock him out. I prepare for it. I have a great dream. Because it's a great dream as well. But I have my father's my Jose Vargas. He knows me very well, to perfection. Exactly what we need to correct. I was 8 years old, so he knows my improvements, my state. If there's anything that I'm lacking, he reminds me. I have is a new asset. He's, it's somebody that at the same time, eight-time world champion for a reason. He's one of the all-time greats, and he will always go down as one of the all-time greats. He has a big fight himself, so we were in camp together, right, for this one. And it wasn't a long layoff. It was 2 years off, but at the same time, I was consistently training. I have had 3 training camps in one. We were supposed to fight in May. You remember that? May of 2021. And that didn't occur. Then again, we negotiated a fight for February 5th. Unfortunately, I tested positive for COVID. That didn't occur. Got postponed for April 30th. That's 3 training camps in one. If there's any ring rust, if there was any ring rust, believe me, that's well brushed off. I'm really looking forward to this fight. I'm really looking forward to showing you what I've been working on, showing you the strength that I have at 54, showing you that I should have made this jump when I first in 2019. I had told about it, and we had made this 154. I think we did 100 at the time, which was weight. I won by knockout, and I look forward to keeping a knockout winning streak in the 154 pound. Looking forward to it. I do want to take the time to also, give my respect and some prop to Dazn Matchroom Boxing for expanding and growing the brand so rapidly. From 2017 and on, I was one of the first to sign on, and I saw a lot of potential. I did a thorough research on what they proposed, and I felt that it was the new era. And you have shown this by not only every event that you put on some of the biggest fights in the world, such as Canelo Alvarez and several others. But I definitely respect that, and you're supporting women's boxing, which they deserve all the respect. They give it all they got, and I'm sure Saturday night they're gonna impress the fans, and I'm looking forward to being a part of it, to backing them up, showing that support, and giving the fans a good show and a good performance by me. Everyone here, I'm sure, they're going to try and do this.
I was going to say that you're trying to get more.
I don't care about, but tell you what, let me knock you out Saturday from there.
Who's the last person you knocked out?
You're going to be the first one, I'll tell you
that. Jesse, one thing I will say to 54, I know that you've won fight time. Liam Smith is 154 pounder. Great fight with Canelo Alvarez. Mungiri lost those. Respect him as a fighter in front of you, and that's why you're so confident that you'll knock him out the weekend.
I'm confident because of my training camp. I'm confident because of my team. I'm confident because of the type of shape that I'm in. I'm confident because everything that I've done to execute this plan that I have, and I'm planning to do that come Saturday night. I'm ready. Physically, spiritually, mentally, I'm just, overly prepared, and I just can't wait. I'm just anxious to show the fans what I've been working on. It's going to be an exciting night for me,
and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to have fun Saturday.
And Liam, if he tries to knock you out, we'll lend itself
I will.
to being, you will knock him out.
Jesse, you've never fought at 154. You've moved to 154 the shitbag way and still fought at 152, and you fought Humberto Soto. If you go into 154, don't say 154 and then fight at. You haven't fought, and you come to knock double. Who's the last person you destroyed? You said you're going to destroy me. You 3 fights at your last 8 or 4.
You're going to feel the punches Saturday night.
I hope so.
Well, your wish.
Gentlemen, it is going to be a thrilling Vargas against Liam Smith. Of course, the undisputed Super Championship, Cederroos, Crews-Dezurn against Cordell Book, Gina against Yafai, Reshat Mati. Incredible being is when you go to Madison Square Garden, you have to put on a great show. A historic main event, but one of the best undercards we have ever staged. Watch it all unfold live on Dazn from the Mecca of boxing on Saturday. We're going to split now for head-to-heads, and then we'll be back with the main event press comments shortly. Thank you.
Well, just for the record, Liam Smith referred to Humberto Soto. That was Jesse Vargas' last knockout. It came nearly 3 years ago, April 26, 2019. So actually a little over 3 years ago. But you could feel the tension. These two have had a potential max works for over 2 years now. And finally, it's coming to fruition April 30th.
I remember for that fight, Canelo against Callum Smith, Liam was already challenging Jesse, and we were already this fight. But that rivalry brewing for a long time. Callum is right. This would be the first fight, but we can see out. If something about Jesse Vargas, it's always in the game to take distance.
Yeah. World champion trying to and prolong a career and potentially grab another belt in another division. It would be very impressive if he pulls it off, but it feels like there's only 2 ways to go here Saturday night when you take a look at the paths with Liam Smith and Jesse Vargas. The loser could go down a very dark path, and the winner could get another crack at a championship.
The one thing that we've always spoken about boxing, it's a very jealous career. It's a very jealous girlfriend. That's the kind of girlfriend that doesn't like to share its time, its space, nothing. Either you're a full-time fighter or you're not. And I understand it's been 2 years where Jesse has actually dabbled not only into politics, but he's also a good communicator. He does a great job analyzing fights. He's worked with us many times. So, you know, that's what Liam is actually pointing. It's like, you're not a full-time. And we heard what said about half-time fighters.
Liam Smith, Jesse Vargas, some moments right there. You see Cartagena on your screen at it. First in match number 2 in his pro career.
That's amazing. I remember when I started doing this for a living, we would have never even mentioned a second fight for a title. But let's not forget, Vasily Lomachenko went for the first title in his first pro fight. So it's becoming more normal than what we could have ever thought. Galal
Yafai getting the stoppage over Bautista back at the O2 Arena. So that was for a title in his debut. He defends the title for the first time at Madison Square Garden in New York. And then you see, look, tons of history on this show. Not only one undisputed title fight, but there you see Cederroos, Crews-Dezurn. They are going to go undisputed title at 168 pounds. Face to face, and the Sunnies are for Franchon.
This has been Franchon's aesthetic since she was the scene. And I'm just, she said, this is King Franchon. Ladies that just kept on grinding in the amateurs, then decided to go pro. First pro fight against Clarissa Shields with an outstanding amateur background, and then she even made part of the US team.
Well, there you see, we were talking about moments ago, Liam Smith and Jesse Vargas getting ready for their clash on Saturday night. It's been a match in the making for quite some time. It was scheduled to be the main event on a February 5th card. Jesse Vargas came down with COVID-19 and pushed back to here on Saturday on Dazn. The feature leading up to 10 and Serrano, and we're going to see in a few moments, but this stare down that people have been waiting. It was a genuine between these two.
Oh my God. Stare down. Very even. I'm looking forward to this fight because they both have earned titles in their respective weight divisions. The only difference is this would be Jesse's first fight at 154, but let's not forget his history, his experience. That all adds up against a fighter like Liam, who's very complete.
Now we are approaching the main press conference happening in a few moments with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Let's go back to this history, though, Claudia.
Yes.
We heard it a little bit on the dais. Start with Skye Nicolson coming up on Before the Bell that you can see starting at 4:45 Eastern on Saturday. The first Australian to fight at Madison Square Garden. Cederroos said it up at the press conference. She's going to be the first Swedish boxer in Madison Square Garden. And then on top of that, with undisputed fight. Let's spend some time here. And Franchon, and two women going at it, and Eddie alluded with Franchon had a debut like Claressa. We were in only a handful of years ago, and now look where we are. Look what is on the precipice of happening on Saturday night.
Let me just help put this in perspective. About 10 years ago, Cecilia Brakus was in the main stage in women's boxing. Yet she has yet to fight in her country of Norway. She's born in Colombia, but she was raised in Norway. It's still illegal for women to fight professionally in Norway. So this is still the state of boxing among women. So this is a huge step in women's history because we've been fighting this glass ceiling for so long. And to finally get a chance to, and not have one, but two undisputed fights. All the hard work. This is, and like you said, British woman, Australian, and they're fighting in places Muhammad Ali, and the list goes on. Now we have ladies being part of that long list of stars in boxing that are going to be covering the beautiful walls of this place.
The undisputed title at 168 pounds between Dazn and Cederroos coming up, but it all leads to the main event on Saturday night on Dazn. Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano for the title of undisputed at 135 pounds and for history.
The plan 100% is Amanda Serrano at Madison Square Garden. It's now time to make a historic fight. Katie's been wanting that fight for a long time, and that's the fight people want to see.
This is the most I've been in for a fight in a long time. This is a history fight.
Taylor beat your sister Cindy in the. Do you have any message for Katie Taylor?
Ready for me? I'm stronger. I can brawl. She's never hit as hard as me.
It's very easy to talk about. I think it's anything that I
We have undisputed versus a 7 division.
It's the biggest fight in women's boxing.
A showcase of a fight. Once we go in that ring, we let our hands do the talking.
And we're back here in the Hulu Theater. Claudia Trejos, Justin Shackle. We are getting set for the main press conference between Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. The action happening this Saturday night on DAZN in the big room at Madison Square Garden. We only have a few moments. Let's do a mini X and O's right now.
Sure.
X's and O's here. Where do you feel this fight could be won or lost?
Well, this fight is going to be won or lost smack in the middle of the ring. We have two fighters who move very well. They have extra work and styles make. Have one more in Amanda Serrano. Can definitely move when she needs. But Katie Taylor is a mover and she sits behind. And just to give you some numbers, guys, basic. So let's just go into basic as the jab. One thing that we always say when we're on the outside of the ring, that starts all the combinations. So Amanda Serrano has an average of 24.4 jabs thrown, while Katie Taylor only has 10.9. But the accuracy, here's the difference. 13% for Amanda and 13% for Katie. What does that tell me? Accuracy is key. Energy conservancy is key. So if we're going to go into deep waters, you need to be able to not only keep your opponent at a distance, be able to move, and you need a lot of stamina in order to do that for 12 rounds.
It's going to be more than just efficiency versus volume. The footwork obviously play a big part in it. As we know, like to forward in their own different ways. It's going to be very interesting. Everyone's been saying week, this is a true 50. Feels like talking about Jessie Vargas, another 50-50 fight. Multiple fights like that card.
Evenly height, experience, exposure, seasoning, flying hours. They both have many flying hours. The only difference would be, like we mentioned before, this is Jessie's first fight, official fight at 154. So here, Liam has the experience. He's fought with the likes of Canelo Alvarez at 154. Once you go there, that's like your master's degree or PhD degree at 154. Now, my question will sit in, can somebody like Jessie Vargas, with the amount of experience that he has and the type of trainers that he's worked with, can he withstand that type of punishment at 154? Can he throw it? Yes. Can he dish it? Yes. Can he throw those hands? Perfect. Can he withstand the punishment? This is key.
Lots of questions to be answered tonight, but when you talk about legacy to this main event here, Taylor, as far as legacy is concerned, it's at stake for each.
Everything. We're looking at basically carrying the standard for women's boxing. And at this point in time, we have two of the most successful, notorious ladies in the world of boxing in a place like Madison Square Garden. So here is, you got to put all your marbles right there on the table. And the truth of the matter is, for Serrano, she's been in different platforms. She's been in MMA, she's been in boxing. She's had lots of accolades, both amateur and pro. Katie, two-time Olympian. There's a lot of pedigree, right? Amateur and pro. So for both is all or none. Lost today, it would be a blemish in it would be the first Katie, and that first always hurts.
It is time for the conference here for Taylor. Further ado, back to the Matchroom chairman.
Well, welcome back, everybody. I hope everybody can take their seats and prepare yourself for the main event press conference this Saturday night, a historic night of boxing. Katie Taylor against Amanda Serrano for the undisputed lightweight world championship here at the Mecca of boxing, Madison Square Garden, live and exclusive around the world on Dazn. Thank you to all of our partners that have been involved with this event, and our co-promoters Jake Paul and MVP will hear from shortly. But just to put some magnitude into this event, when we came to Madison Square Garden, Joel Fisher and the incredible team here, with the dream of staging this unique legacy event, they couldn't have been more supportive. In fact, we came into this arena and said maybe we should do it in a small arena. They said no. Dazn said we had to try and push these two great females done for many. I was nervous. Jake Pop less nervous. But as we sit here with around 15,000 tickets already sold and heading towards a sellout on Saturday night, with nearly half of those travelling from the UK and Ireland, we are going to have an incredible atmosphere for an incredible moment. But to put this into context, these two incredible female athletes, which Jake will talk about Amanda shortly and the struggle that she's had to get herself into this position. But Katie Taylor is someone that is incredibly inspirational to me, to young females, to males, to everybody around the world, because she's continuously not allowed anything to get in the way of her dreams. In 2002, she walked into Bray Boxing Club. Before she walked in, she had a head guard on to pretend she was girls boxing banned in Ireland. In her early amateur career, she was she had to pretend that she was a boy, other boys, to get to this position. Fast forward an incredible career, to the IOC, women's boxing had she was laughed at for a long portion of her career. She kept on banging the door down, and eventually women's boxing was installed into the Olympics. She went on and won gold. And I think the great thing about this fight and this weekend is that Madison Square Garden won't be full up because everyone feels it's nice to support women's boxing. It will be full up because it's a great fight. And that's what Katie only ever wanted, the ability to perform on stages like this because of her ability. She didn't want people to support women's boxing because it was a nice thing to do. She wanted people to support women's boxing because of their ability. And on Saturday night, you see a great fighter, regardless of male or one of the great fighters of our generation, in one of the great of our generation. Talk about what this might do to inspire a next generation of female athletes. With two, I look at of Instagram and TikTok and say, I want you to have a dream like Katie Taylor. When someone tells you no and you believe in something so strongly, don't give up. Chase your dreams, break down the boundaries, overcome the barriers, work hard, and anything is possible. And on Saturday night, it'll be a very proud moment, but not just for young females, for all of us. All of us. This shows us that if you want something bad enough, anything is possible. And on Saturday, it'll be a very emotional time for a lot of people involved to see Katie Taylor walk out the mecca of boxing on the stage that she lives and breathes for. Anyway, that's enough emotion, just in case I just sort of get a little throat. We've got to bring in very important people who make this possible. Firstly, Joel Fisher from Madison Square Garden. Joel, you and your team just... You guys... nice email, myself and MVP, just to say what a great journey this has been since we announced this fight. And there seems to be such goodwill in this event. You know what boxing's like, it's a terrible business, but this is bigger than boxing. This is an event where your organisation, the entertainment industry, the sports industry are all supporting this event. And this is I feel, one of the biggest moments for this incredible arena on Saturday.
It's been great, and to work with you guys have been tremendous, and to honestly get to know Amanda and Katie over the last number of months and this last week. Not only are they great boxers and in my opinion, the best pound-for-pound boxers in the world, not female pound boxers, the best pound boxers, great people, and a tremendous promotion and all of us. I'd like to make a few remarks and just say that, I want to welcome everybody here to the Garden and to the Hulu Theater. Just 2 days away from the biggest fights in history, for sure, the fight in ever boxing, and it's taking place here in America of Boxing Square Garden. Mark, as Eddie has, the first time headline a card in Madison Square Garden Arena, a night that is not just long overdue for MSG, but for the sport of boxing. As we just said, it's been an incredible promotion, and I can't thank Katie and Amanda, Nikisa, Jake, Eddie, Sean, Frank, all of your teams, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention my team, Sal and Joanne and Larry, for the great job that they've done. The support for this fight has been second to none. I've been at the Garden for many years, as a lot of you know. I've never seen this type of promotion and support for an event. Worked on thousands of like I've seen for all of our at the Garden behind this fight. Chairman's office, Jim Dolan, and he was like, we got to do that. We're in. This is history. It's women should have their stage. We are in. So he's incredibly supportive. Our entertainment division, our government affairs network, our network, the Knicks, the Rangers, have all stepped up. Social media activity, MSG, from Match, from MVP, from Dazn, has been up and really engaging. I don't know if you've seen the clip that's been running, but there's been celebrity call-outs from Rosie Perez, Billie Jean King, Layla Ali, Christy Martin, Stephanie McMahon, Tracy Morgan, just to name a few. It's just been amazing. There's been billboards in Times Square. This fight is promoted on the top of taxi cabs all around the city. Tao, who the Garden owns, has made a special dessert in honor of this historic fight. The iconic Empire State Building is going to be lighting up in honor of the women, half in Irish colors and the other in Puerto Rican red, white and blue. The Brooklyn Borough president was here yesterday and presented a man a citation and said, light up the Brooklyn Hall in her honor. The media coverage has been so robust, an important article about the women, morning show on the they were the media have traveled from Ireland and Puerto Rico to be here. I hear that we're expecting over 200 media tomorrow for this fight. That's unheard of. I've never seen something like this, and these women, these ladies, deserve it all. They're both champions, as I said, in every aspect of the world, both inside and out of the ring. And win, lose, or draw, Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano will forever be etched in the hallowed halls of Madison Square Garden, along the likes of Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, Rocky Marciano, Lewis, Roberto Duran, and many others. No pressure on you, ladies, at all. I do want to thank Eddie and the staff, as I said earlier, Anthony, Lewis, Kevin, the staff, Paul, and have just been unbelievable. Their staff with the most valuable promotions has been into this the entire through. They've been great to work with, and we thank them for everything they've done and everything they do for boxing. Tremendous. Of course, I can't forget the Dazn will put on a great live stream. As Eddie said, we are expecting a sellout. There are a few tickets left, but just to think of a sellout in the current state of women's boxing is just amazing in the main room. It's going to be an historic night, so I would really suggest fans get the last few remaining tickets. The talking is done. I'm done. The focus is now on Saturday night, and the best of luck to both Amanda and Katie.
Thank you, Joel. Great. And thank you to your team as well, Sal, Joe, and everyone. Been incredible to work with you guys. This event, we go over to Markowski from Dazn. I mean, I think when we were so excited, to be honest, we never big. And you guys expecting a huge viewership at the weekend, a major moment for the platform once again.
Yeah, and I have to give you and Matchroom credit for the investment and the focus you've made us put on women's boxing over the last 4 years since we got into business together here in the States. This fight, I think, transcends boxing, and very few boxing fights do that. The Canelo Alvarez's, the Anthony Joshua's, they transcend boxing. Occasionally, Jake Paul to your left, he transcends boxing for different reasons. But this fight is transcending boxing for a number of reasons. The ingredients in this fight are quite remarkable, and Joel's spoken to them eloquently there. The involvement of pound for pound two best fighters in the world, the hosting at MSG, yourself and the efforts you make of MB. This is reflective of in sport. People realise that women, when the platform, the PR polish get, the eyeballs come, and when the eyeballs come, people are entertained and amazed what these athletes do. Long overdue, as Joel said, and we're seeing across our sport a real growing interest in sport. We've seen it in soccer, seen it in tennis, thank goodness seeing it. So they're seeing it's a great opportunity for on.
The importance of delivering, though. I know that a lot of broadcasters feel that they should support women's sport, and of course that's right, but it's very different, isn't it, when a big female fight like this starts delivering in terms of subscribers, huge viewership, because to have sustainability and longevity in a product, we need to see those numbers come through. And we're seeing it this week. We're seeing it translated through ticket sales. We'll see it through viewership and subscription to a point where you will be asking us, when's the next big female fight? That's the way to create longevity.
The small room's not appropriate event. It's the appropriate venue for conference. When you this kind of the platform and the market, it attracts. We are not in the doing the right thing. Is to do the right thing. CSR project. This event will grow our business, and we'll want to see more of them, male or female. It doesn't matter. We want to see more fights at this scale. The attendance of the media, the interest of the fans, every metric we look at suggests this is trending to be a huge, huge fight. And we're very proud, frankly, to be broadcasting it globally.
Well, thank you as always for your support this week. And of course, next week, huge Canelo Alvarez against Dimitri Bivol fight in Las Vegas. We turn our attention now to talk to the team of Amanda Serrano, a young man to my left who, picked up the mantle as our promoter in this event. Saying it because I'm about to introduce you. It's been a pleasure to work with. I know a lot of people felt you approached this in your normal way, but you've been incredibly. You've come with a Nikisa to just with us. The guy. It's an event that for a long time. We can be the cheerleaders at the weekend, and a couple of days away from, I guess, an event that we all hoped would get to these kind of levels, but even fascinated us to see just how big this fight is on Saturday.
This feels like a, unification of the heavyweight division. This is massive, and just, wearing my promoter hat, I think if this fight happens again or one like it, we're going to have to give ladies even more of a payday, because I've never seen this amount of media at any fight, I'm talking, figures. And they deserve it, and I'm excited for this fight first and foremost. Bell to ring, put on a show here at. I thank Christy Martin and Layla Ali for really making this possible and paving the way for Amanda and Katie, and obviously for what Katie has done for the sport is just incredible, and pushing alongside of you to grow female boxing. I cannot wait, and Amanda Serrano is ready. When I first, met Amanda, 7-division world champion, getting paid $5,000-$10,000 for a fight. To think that we are here a year later is massive, and that's because of the supporters, because of the platform that we've built, and that you've built, and that Amanda's built, and that Katie, to push this narrative forward. And it's the young ladies out supporting these women. Call on women right now to Saturday night, to watch the pay-per-view, to these ladies, because that's what this fight needs. We need to prove that the business side can sustain, so that women boxing can continue to take paydays, continue to drive forward, and continue to equal in aspects of the sport. So, a woman, tune in, support these ladies entire lives, dedicate themselves to this moment. So please, you're doing a good thing by tuning in Saturday night, and thank you so much for letting me be a part of this event.
Jake, I know now your involvement in boxing. You're desperate for Amanda to win on Saturday night. Just a quick word on the fight. You're fully confident that your charge will be victorious and become undisputed lightweight world champion?
More confident than you are.
Really? I don't think so.
I got a bet for you.
I'm not having a tattoo.
I'll bet you all the jewelry I'm wearing right now. Amanda wins the fight.
I'll bet for a lot more than that.
Well, then let's.
I mean, 10 grand.
This is fine. This is fine.
We'll talk.
Hey,
we can have a bet. We can. I think we got.
Well,
I
just proposed.
I want to see those 500k.
500k dripping right now.
Okay, maybe we can talk about $1 million, but we'll have a chat.
Let's do $1 million.
Okay, we'll talk. I know about your bets. I know. Oh, something's falling over down there.
I bet Amanda wins for $1 million.
Okay, we'll get that together. We'll get that together. We'll get it together. Don't worry.
You're not shaking my hand.
Don't worry. We'll get it together. Actually, we're the underdogs in the fight, apparently, with the bookmakers. So
Come on.
We'll talk.
I'll meet the odds makers' odds too.
You don't need to. You're the favourite.
$1 million plus.
You're the favourite.
Regardless, let's do it. Let's shake up on it.
Oh. Anyway, we'll get that paper about you.
$1 million.
Nikisa, paper in that bet, but on a serious note, you want one as well? Okay, on a serious note, what a great event to be involved with. We're here now, just a couple of days away. Thank you to you and your team for working tirelessly, particularly with Sean Palmer and the like. Couple of days away, big moment for MVP and Amanda Serrano.
Absolutely. We started this journey with you, Eddie, a little bit over 2 years ago when Jake made his debut on Dazn, where he was co-main on a Thursday night. And to think a little bit over 2 years, Jake is sitting next to you on the biggest women's event in history. Honor, it's a privilege, and it's a trailblazing for Katie, but for women's boxing. I had the privilege when Ronda Rousey made her at the UFC, and she allowed for that sport, or her performance allowed for that sport to embrace women's MMA, and I feel that Amanda and Katie have that opportunity here. And I'm very confident that they're going to put on a show that the world is going to be talking about for many, many, many weeks post-event, and it will result in additional opportunities to do things like this for women's boxing.
Thank you for all your support on this fight. Before we go to the fighters, Ross Enamait, a couple of words. I thought Jordan was coming up here, but a massive moment. You've worked tirelessly behind the scenes with Katie Taylor. Business as usual. From you guys, you're a team token. You always take care of it in the right way, and I don't want you to say it, but I kind of get the feeling. It's a massive for Team Katie Taylor this Saturday.
It's business as usual. We've been here before. Katie thrives under the bright lights. We're not going to sit up here and talk about bets. We're coming to fight. It's a real fight, so we can sit up here and joke, but Katie's ready. I've never been more confident in her. Everybody says they had a great camp. We had a phenomenal camp. She hasn't looked better. She's had phenomenal sparring, and she's ready to put on a show on Saturday.
I've seen that in the clips, particularly when I look at all the work design and the work our social media looks like something different. People, the last couple of fights, they weren't really fights that she was motivated for. I know she's always to the top of her potential, but this is the moment for.
Great step up when it matters, and Katie's a great athlete. She's special. She's unique. She's never ducked a challenge. We have fought everybody. Persoon twice. Leonardatown. McCaskill. She goes after everybody. So as big as the event is, it is just another fight because we've been here before. Katie's going to go and show the world what she's all about on Saturday.
Great words. Amanda, welcome. You two have been incredible this week and in the whole preparation for the fight. Obviously, the media has been out of control. You've embraced it. You've had a great training camp Saturday night in front of huge yourself as well as Katie. Just a moment for women's boxing, but obviously for your career as well. And I'm sure to go 2 days.
Definitely. It's been a long time since, it's fun. We're getting up our shine. Thanks to you guys. The garden can actually so to make history. Sitting here, I won my Golden Gloves theater, and I made zone with you guys, Division World Champion, and I plan to do the same thing at the Big Garden. It's my first fight there, but I shine under pressure. I'm just excited to go out there. I train hard like I always have in every fight. All my opponents, I never underestimate them. I know Katie Taylor is a true champion. She's she's undefeated and undisputed for a reason. But one of my goals is to become undisputed champion, and she has that. And I'm going up once again 2 divisions to face the best fighter, one of the best fighters in the world. But I'm ready. Yeah, I can't wait to prove that of this opportunity, spotlight. Just everything all. It's been an amazing journey getting here, Taylor. I mean, but I think time, no better. I mean, I just can't wait for Saturday night. I'm so looking forward to Sunday, being undisputed champion.
And just finally, Amanda, I know that this is groundbreaking. This is opening so many doors for female athletes, and it's so inspiring. But it comes down to the fight on Saturday night. That's what you've done your whole career. That's the only thing that matters now. How desperate are you to be victorious on Saturday night and take all these belts back to Brooklyn and Puerto Rico?
Definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter what we say. I mean, we're probably like the 2 nicest fighters. There's no bad talk between me and Taylor because the fights are inside the ring, not outside. We don't need to talk bad about it. Our account got us where we at. Right? We're making history, and I couldn't be share that ring with Katie Taylor. Yeah, 13 years I've struggled. I've fought my way to this spot right now, and I want to go out there and just secure that victory. And no matter what happens Saturday night, I think the real winners are the fans and women in general in the sport of women's boxing, because it's only going to grow from now on.
Katie, I know that you're always cool as a cucumber, and like Ross, it's just another fight, but has it even surprised you this week in the build-up to this fight, seeing everybody here today? You must be very proud. I know that all you want is win, but this is a that you have created, and I managed it as well, but I can't believe the size and magnitude of this Saturday.
Yeah, definitely I'm very, very proud of this event. That different the media, looking at the amount of media that we actually had to do all week as well. I'm sick of talking about myself, but it's been an amazing week, and definitely very, very different to how I started boxing as a 9 or 10-year-old, where I actually had to pretend, like I said, to be a boy to actually get fights. Women's boxing wasn't even a sanctioned sport in Ireland. Now here we are many years later, headline in Madison Square Garden, the most iconic venue in boxing, making history as the biggest fight in female boxing. This is just incredible, and yeah, this is I've been worked at for sure.
When you go in to like this, an event like this, and the prices that you made, I remember I came to the office and dream, but I would say you'll headline Madison Square Garden. I didn't really believe it, but we got there. And did you believe it? I mean, all those years with you, I remember when you debuted in 6 rounds at Wembley in November 2016, I believe it was. And we put you as main event, and everyone laughed and said, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
And I always just felt, you just got to watch. Just watch Katie Taylor and you'll be a believer. If you just felt that if you got the platform, if you got the opportunity to showcase your skills, nights like this would happen.
Absolutely, and you're seeing this is going to be a sellout on Saturday night. There is a great appetite out for female fights. This is very special because it is the best versus champion versus champion, and this is a boxing match. This is in match in the world right now, but best fight you can see, male or female. And on Saturday night we're going to put on an absolute showcase for the sport.
Legacy aside, history aside, just win. That's the aim on Saturday night. It's what you've always done. You believe that when you wake up Sunday, these belts will still be in the hotel and you'll still be the undisputed lightweight world champion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't train to lose any fights, I train to win, and it's the same for me on Saturday night. I'm stepping in there confident that I'll be coming out victorious. But, the best part about this fight, the best part about my legacy is just being able to inspire the generation, and this fight has inspired a lot of young girls, and that to me is just about us.
Well, for everybody, questions to the floor quickly before we pose for a head-to-head. There's a microphone coming around. Please don't talk till the microphone is presented to you. Raise your hands if you have a question, please.
Yeah, thank you, Eddie. It seems like a 50-50 fight here. Is there a rematch clause here? Can you maybe let us know? Maybe this could be a 3-fight trilogy going forward. I mean, it seems like a very well even fight. Can you shed a little light on that, please?
All the focus is on Saturday. I think whenever there's a good fight, and if the numbers add up, you'll see the match. No immediate plans for that. Obviously, we've seen this as a fight, might be the biggest fight next, might be the biggest fight after, but just Saturday night. Raise your hands, please.
Cole Whiston from Boxing World Weekly. Eddie, my first question is for you. Now that we've reached fight week and you're sharing the stage on Saturday night with Oscar Valdez and Shakur Stevenson, how happy are you with how this promotion is going? And it is definitely the most talked about event this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like every time I talk about that fight, I give it promotion. But on a serious note, I told ESPN, I told Bob Arum publicly, Jake did as well, it is a massive mistake going on the same night. Announced, we were on sale, and they still chose to go on the same. And, you know, I just see the media attention here today. And Stevenson against fight. But it's not, no, it's not selling 80. It's not going to be and viewers like it will, but it's a great fight. And, you know, I think sometimes there's media outlets here today that aren't supporting this fight for different reasons, but they're few and far between. This fight has all the recognition for, yes, being the biggest female fight of all time, but also a standalone fight in boxing between the undisputed world champion and a 7-division world champion. Nail on the head perfectly. One of the best fights in boxing that can be made, regardless of male or female.
I think it's important to add that Dazn has taken a leadership position in ensuring that the two fights back with each other. So, a boxing fan, I can watch on Dazn, watch the other fight. That's the fact, right? Overlap here to ensure that you.
Yeah.
Guys over here. This is for Katie and Amanda. We talked a ton about how important this is just for the sport of women's boxing. Do you feel like the fight itself, what we're expecting for Saturday, is getting lost in it? And what are you expecting from the fight itself on Saturday? Katie first.
What am I expecting from the fight?
Yeah, and is it itself getting lost in just the discussion of what else it could mean for the sport?
What were you expecting from the fight?
Sorry. I think stylist is going to be right. The winner is going to have to show a lot of grit, a lot of skill, and it's going to be a combination of those things. And I think you're going to see great boxing on Saturday.
You're going to see great talent out there. Just going at it. So you're going to see his heart, lots of punches. You're going to just enjoy boxing, but you're going to see. Have a great night.
Yeah. The other, Jake Donovan, BoxingScene.com. I have a similar question for both of you. When this fight didn't happen 2 years, how confident were you that it would back around and on your terms?
You guys would not let us, not because every question after her fight was always about Katie, and you know, you guys would not have it. I was pretty confident the fight was gonna happen, but not magnitude. You know, once Jake Paul on it, it just flew off. I'm truly honored, and Katie too. It's payday with Mecca box. It's super exciting.
Thank you. And then Katie, similar for you. I know you were frustrated when it didn't happen 2 years ago. You still had some amazing fights since then, but do you appreciate just like the magnitude of like this fight happening now as opposed to, you know, 2 years ago, right after the pandemic?
Yeah, it's definitely bigger now than it ever was before. And a couple of years ago, we were going to fight during the pandemic in Eddie Hearn's backyard, where there was no people were going to be there, an empty arena, an empty backyard. And so here we are in the most iconic venue in boxing. It's going to be to sell out. So I'm very grateful right now that happened a couple of years ago. But there was a time where I was thinking, gosh, it's not going to happen. And it would have been enough if it didn't happen, because it is the best, like I said. So I'm grateful.
Okay, last post head.
BoxingInsider.com. Any questions for you? The win on Saturday, be considered the greatest time?
I think considered the greatest female fighter of all time, for many different reasons, actually. Because of the legacy that she created in terms of convincing the IOC to install women's boxing into the Olympics, winning 5 championships as an amateur, 6 championships, Olympic gold, coming through, becoming lightweight champion, under champion, moving up and winning another world championship at 140 pounds. For me, she would always be the greatest female fighter of all time. But these are the kind of fights that secure that legacy and leave no doubts in people's minds. And I believe she'll be victorious on Saturday night in a brilliant fight, and I believe the legacy will roll on. Right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to break for a head-to-head here. Don't forget the weigh-in in here tomorrow at the Hulu Theatre. A huge crowd in here for the weigh-in, and don't forget to tune in live on Dazn on Saturday night. Jake, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Don't forget about as well.
No problem.
And when Amanda giving your $1 million, I just want to put that out there.
Well, Jake Paul makes things interesting, doesn't he, Claudia?
Always, always. There's always something up his sleeve, and I'm so excited because there's that little wager, even though it's among
It's
promoters.
not little.
I'm just saying. I'm being kind here. The wager.
Yeah.
It makes it interesting because now everybody has skin in the game. I mean, and has always been extremely benevolent, and he always looks after people that are fighting in the undercard. If people know this, it's his purse. He's made enough money. Now I'm going to.
A couple of things stand out in that main press conference here as well. So some of the stuff that spoken about, but between the Garden chairman, Markovsky, the head talking about how this fight will end boxing, not boxing.
When was the last time you and I were like this and said this is the best? I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
No.
And this is truly not at 135, but in the world.
Yes.
In women's boxing.
Yes.
With Katie Taylor and the real deal, Amanda Serrano, who you see right there. And I'd be remiss if we didn't touch on, because of where this fight is happening here in New York City, from the moment Amanda Serrano saw that Daily News Golden Glove ad in the paper babysitting her nephew while her sister was training in Brooklyn, that kind of piqued her interest to try started here.
I'm getting goosebumps.
The room that she won the Golden Gloves in, the room in right now finally standing in the arena is called the World's, but it is also her venue. This is a terrific peak and a terrific climax to the story of Amanda Serrano.
Absolutely, and not just of Amanda. And we mentioned how this fight transcends the sport itself. This is literally two ladies showing our young women and men, to tell the truth is, telling all our youth, whatever you dream of, you can make it happen. It might take a day or two, a lot of work, a lot of hard work and dedication, Floyd Mayweather's best word, but it can be done. That's one of the messages that's come through from day one. They actually announced, they've always said, we dreamt of this situation, dreamt about it, came about. So yes, about a winner, a loser, how does the win happen, yada yada. But the truth of the matter is, we're seeing two young ladies that struggled throughout their youth to make it where they're at, and they did it.
And then I thought something that was really interesting, between everyone waxing poetic up there and you hearing Jake Paul put the wager on the table. Then you have Katie Taylor's trainer, Ross Enamait, going back to business, pulling this press conference back into a place where I feel like his fighter and Amanda are most comfortable.
Yes, because we can expect Jake to just bring lightheartedness into a press conference because we were like,
yes,
when we have Katie Taylor's trainer who took over her conditioning after her loss in Rio 2016, he knew that he had a diamond that needed to be polished. And he is very, very confident that they put in not only the flying hours, but the work, the dedication, and they understand what it means to win such a title here at Madison Square Garden. And they're not just going to let that go. So, yes, we can talk about the history behind it, the historical events, the legacy. We can talk about the bigger picture. But at the end, all is defined in a win.
Based on what you've seen, and
I got faith in you. I got faith in you. Justin.
We're going to wrap it up. Terrific afternoon. We met fighters and the action tomorrow, Friday, Hulu Theater, in at 1 p.m. Eastern, and then Saturday night on Dazn, 7:30 Eastern time, the start of Taylor Serrano. For Claudia, I'm Justin. We'll talk to you tomorrow here in New York City.
Plan 100% is Amanda Serrano at Madison Square Garden. It's now time to make a historic fight. Katie's been wanting that fight for a long time, and that's the fight people want to see.